Hi everybody, this is Jane from Willow Blue Vintage and welcome to another Tag Team Friday. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this bird sketchbook tag. So it's a lovely distressed blue background. I put a bit of handwritten paper and then I used a print from the Graphics Very Premium site of a bird and I painted over it with watercolour paints and then made some little paint swatches of the same colours. And that just sort of helps tie it together, and it actually makes it look like the whole image is a hand painted picture. I then added a feather with a bit of old vintage sellotape, gave a really nice kind of authentic sketchbook look to it. I used a bird image, but of course you could use flowers or any other image that you wanted for this same kind of technique. Okay, let's have a look at the materials that we're going to use. So the materials that you'll need, first of all, your printouts. So I used this tag, which is a printable from the Forget Me Not bundle, and these prints are from the Central Park Birdwatchers Club bundle. I printed two of the stamps, there's a large sheet of stamps. I just sort of cut two of them out and I'm going to use the bluey coloured one, and I enlarged them slightly. So prints, and this is onto a sort of lightweight card. I've then got a scrap of handwritten paper, but you could print out some of the script ephemera or just use any paper that you would like to use. I've got some glue. I'm using Mod Podge and a glue brush. I've got my hole punch and a couple of different bits of sari silk that I'll put through the tag. I'm not sure which one is going to look best. I've got some scissors and I've got some watercolour paints and a paintbrush. I've got some distress ink and an applicator, and I've got a bit of washi tape. I've also got some really old bits of sellotape, and I'm going to see which one looks best for sticking my feather in place. And finally, somewhere buried under here, I've got a feather. Okay, so let's make a start. So the first thing I've done is cut the tags out and glue them together back to back. And then I'm just going to use a bit of the distress ink to go around the edges just to take that kind of new whiteness away. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is just work out the position of all the pieces where I want them to go. So my handwritten piece and my bird are going to be layered towards the top of the tag. And then my paint spots are going to go at the bottom with the feather coming up, something like that. So I'm not going to glue them on yet. I'm going to do the painting first and then put them on. I just wanted to work out roughly where they're going to go. So with the paints, I'm going to use about 4 colours. I'm going to use some pale blue, slightly darker blue, a browny colour and a kind of blackish colour, and just paint over the colours on the bird. And then when I've done each colour, I'm going to put a patch of the colour onto the piece of paper. This is a water brush, so the water's already in there, so it wets the brush automatically, but it was just because that was handy. You can just use a normal paintbrush and a pot of paint. So I've got a sort of swatch card for my paint, so I can easily see which colours are which just saves me lots of time. bit of tissue to clean my brush in between. So I'm just take a little bit of that blue off. It's just a little bit too much, too blue. Okay, and then put a bit of that onto the bottom of the paper. Got a lot of water on there. I'm just going to dab that off a little bit, otherwise it's going to take a long time to dry. That's better. Okay, so that's all the painting done. I'm going to let that dry, just so that these colour swatches are completely dry before I glue the pieces onto the tag. Okay, so that's all dried now. I'm just going to use the Distress ink just to go around the painted bird card a little bit. And I'm just going to glue this sort of the top and the centre part of it so that the sides aren't completely stuck down, so that they can flap about a little bit. And then the bird going on top. Okay, so the final bit of attachments is to put the feather in place and either use a bit of washi tape, or I've got this aged sellotape. I'm just going to see how that looks. I'm a real fan of old sellotape, so as you can see I've got quite a collection of it here. Whenever I find an old book or magazine that's got tape on it, I pull the tape off and store it in here because it's just so gorgeous to use on your journals or art projects. Some of it has this really kind of rich yellow colour. Yes, I think that's a really nice touch, so I'm going to use a bit of that and just tape the feather in place using that. So just using my Mod Podge again. I'm just going to pull that bit. There's a little bit of the paper that's curling up. Doesn't quite look right. Just going to tear that bit off. Okay. Right, so I'm really happy with that. I'm now just going to put the hole punch and then put my ribbon through. I think I'll use the blue one. It matches in nicely with the print. Push it through and then feed the ends back through the loop. There we are, all done. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I hope you enjoy having a go at your own. Thank you.